What year is it? How long have I been frozen for? A clicking machine with buttons and sticks asked me for my credit card so I could buy fake coins to use on fake clothes for a fake person. Is any of this even real? Are you real? Am I real? Video games!
Hello from space and welcome to Pregame Discharge, the only video game show that tell you what it knows. Steven Spielberg's Halo TV show is still in development, apparently. Wow, yeah, no, I don't know that. That's probably not true. But there are people allegedly making this that are currently insisting it's true. Assassin's Creed Origins is getting a new region. The region, titled Egypt 2, will feature a two-headed King Ramses mummy that you have to sneak up on. But watch out, because it can see in two directions at once and wishes to build twice as many pyramids with 4 times as many slaves. Also, the level cap is being raised to level 45 from level 40. Metal Gear Survive is going to be getting a beta starting January 18th. It also got a brand spanking new gameplay trailer, and it looks like something. There's dead folks in it. The indie game Indivisible has closed its crowdfunding, with its final total raised being over $2 million. Indivisible being the newfangled RPG game by the same team that made Skullgirl. It features some pretty fucking beautiful 2D animation. Keep your eye out for this one. It launches in 2018. The Switch version of Bayonetta 2 will have multiplayer. You'll need 2 Switches to play it, and there will be 2 Bayonetties. Anyway, yeah, if you and a friend both have the game, you'll be able to do that on the Switch, like some kind of portable something or other. Subnautica will officially be out of early access in 2 weeks, meaning that on January 23rd, it will be the official 1.0 version of the game, and you can officially swim in the 1.0 version of the big old bath that we call the sea, with aliens! Whoa, God of War's not even out yet, and they're already suggesting new God of Warses that go to new gods and kill the new gods. The director has already name-dropped Mayan and Egyptian mythology for the next game, which means I may yet have my chance to slay that accursed Thoth. I will have my revenge! Hey kids, get your hands off your honkin' hole! The only hole you need is wholesome family content. What am I talking about? You know, when I first staggered in here, I thought that this was going to be a colossal waste of my time. But now I see that my time is probably worthless anyway. And I think that that's the real lesson here, is that video games waste everything and nothing. Speaking of wastes, you might want to watch those waist lines, children. You're getting a little bit doughy. And speaking of lines, I probably should just draw it right here and start the goddamn show. I'm Lyle Rath, and this is Pregame Discharge, the only video game show that mocks what I guess are fictional children. I don't know if that makes it better or worse. Nintendo is releasing a cardboard box. For a measly $60, you too can assemble cardboard into a chicken and then have the Nintendo Switch controllers go into the chicken and fucking, this is a toy for kids, which is fine because Nintendo makes toys for kids. But again, $60 cardboard. You want it? You can have it. Maybe you'll have time to pretend robot with all the gash you'll be slaying. Dark Souls, the first one, is getting a re-release on modern consoles and the PC. Not much is known about it other than that it won't use any new assets, which is probably smart because if you touch it, they'll get mad. There's gonna be a new Mario Tennis where all the Marios wear polo shirts. Hyrule Warriors is getting a re-release on Nintendo Switch. It'll come with all the DLC and the stuff they added to the 3DS version. Also, Nintendo strapped a bunch of balloons to Luigi in Mario Odyssey, and you can have it. There was like a Nintendo Direct thing, can you tell? Rumors are going around of a new Fable. The rumors also say that the developer behind Forza Horizon will be handling the project. Also, Peter Molyneux has not said anything, which is nice, unless these rumors are coming from Peter Molyneux, in which case, shut up, Peter Molyneux. Don't ruin this for us again. Dragon Ball FighterZ got a new character. I don't know what it is, but it's pink, and I want to have sex with it for some reason. The second Attack on Titan game will have multiplayer, both in the forms of a competitive mode and co-op. So if you've ever wanted to fly around and fight big naked folks with your friends, you finally have an alternative besides seeking Jesus. And to top it off, my personal favorite bit of news, the remaster that nobody asked for of the game that nobody's ever heard of, Assassin's Creed Rogue, is really happening.
Ooh, it's weird. I like that it's weird. Somebody is probably laundering money and they're doing something weird.
All right, let's get down to brass tacks. It's the current year. Isn't it about time you woke up? And I'm not talking hashtags here. What I'm saying is, if you want to think the floor is made of lava, you have to realize that the ceiling is the floor to the roof. As a matter of fact, everything is the floor to something. We're all the floor in a way if you really think about it. But I don't want to get stuck here talking about quantum lava. We have more important shit to discuss. Besides, if you've been following, you'll realize that you're back where you started, which is nowhere, which is just as much where as anywhere is. Philosophy is nothing but a snake biting its own tail that isn't immune to its own venom, which though lacking is an apt metaphor. I give it a metaphor out of Meta 5. Everyone's a Metacritic, and every Metacritic has its metamorphosis. I met a person who said, hey, maybe you should talk about video games now, to which I'd say, yeah, good point. That person was me. I'm Lyle Rath, and this is Pregame Discharge, the video game show that's really more of a video game tell. Rend me unto death. If you want an experience that makes you feel like throwing up on your feet and passing out on the floor, Hylix 2 is a thing that's happening. It's got a new preview video, and oh fucking man, it is, in fact, a thing. The new God of War got its release date, which is April 20th. That's right, 420. The funny number. Soul Calibur 6.
What the fuck is that?
You don't remember that from the movie?
Got a new character trailer. It revealed some returning members as well as a new character, Grow, who walks the line of try-hard edginess and being legitimately fucking cool looking. That line is then very thoroughly destroyed when evil demon Killick is a thing and happens. Rune Ragnarok got a pre-alpha trailer and it's got big things that you can slay as a Vikingman. Looks pretty fucking metal. The Netflix Castlevania show is getting new episodes this summer. Castlevania more like asshole pania, as in that asshole be out of here in a minute because I ain't paying you to sit around on it, bitch. Xenoblade Chronicles 2 is going to be getting updated with a new game plus mode sometime in the next month. So if you've wanted to re-chronicle all the Xenoblades, now's your chance. Also, if you really want to, you can transcribe the dictionary. That is also an option. Put in silly words that mean nothing, and I'll say them ironically. All right, that's it. I've had it. Nobody's saying it, so I'm gonna be the one to say it. It is 2018, and science, you made some goddamn promises that you're not delivering on. Everybody's talking about the flying cars and the jetpacks, but you know what? I'm even willing to let those slide. Elon is a busy guy. I trust he'll get around to it. I'm sure by now, you know exactly what my problem is. Unfucking believable, you people. In the 90s, we were promised that video game characters would A, jump out of the TV, or B, reach out of the TV and then pull us into the TV, and adventure would ensue. I am not even seeing the slightest attempt to pursue TVs as otherworldly portals to different realities. I mean, this is something we've been conceptualizing since CRTs, yet we've gone from 1080 to 4K, and I have seen nary a video game character either jump out of or pull me into the TV. This is some who killed the electric car shit, and I am gonna get to the bottom of it. I'm Lyle Rath, and this is Pregame Discharge, the only video game show that wants you to be pulled into the TV. Egress is a Dark Souls-style battle royale game, which was presumably created by an automatic video game pitch generator. That doesn't necessarily mean it'll be bad, because You know, the singularity is coming up. Speaking of conspiracies and Dark Souls, rumor has it that Activision has a 5-year plan for Crash Bandicoot, and it involves the Nintendo Switch, and we're going to call it Dark Souls. And you can't stop us. Also, Nintendo officially confirmed that Toad is not wearing a hat and that the mushroom thing is actually his head, so there's that ruined for everyone. Fuck you. CD Projekt Red is gonna be at E3, which could mean anything, but if I know CD Projekt Red, and I do, they're my dad, it probably means we're finally gonna see something on Cyberpunk, and that has me cyber spunking in my... Let's just move on. Tetsuya Nomura has changed Cloud's design for the Final Fantasy VII Remake. All right, just wanted to keep everybody nice and angry, highs and lows. Speaking of which, I swear this is fucking real.
Hi, I'm Todd. I'm with Atari. You might have heard of us. Global entity, global publisher, global developer.
Atari wants you to invest in porting the Android Roller Coaster Tycoon game to the Nintendo Switch. For the low price of $750, you can get a discount, a 25% discount off the street price of the game, valid for the purchase of 1 unit. This is real. Why is this real? My friends, where doth the river run backwards? When doth the rain pour upwards? When will the goddamn sky take all this stupid water back and just leave us here with what we really need? Vagina. You thought I was gonna say video games, didn't you? Well, predictability is the death of anything that would have been meant to survive, and I will tell you something right now. I am a survivor, you gotta eat to live, and the only things I eat are my vegetables and cold hard pussy, you know this. Clean yourself up off the floor and call me sometime, but for now I got a show to run. I'm Lyle Rath, and welcome to Pregame Discharge, the only video game show that gets you going before we go. Shaq Fu, the Legend Reborn is a video game that stars Shaquille O'Neal doing kung fu, and it's coming. We're not sure when, but it's slated for a spring release date, so if you want to be Shaq doing kung fu, keep an eye out for this one, or you might end up as Shaq from 13 feet away, meaning you'll miss it. That's a free throw joke. The creator of Blaze Blue cleared up some confusion about the controversy surrounding the DLC on Blaze Blue Crisscross Applesauce whatever. To fill you in, a bunch of people were mad because it was looking like half the roster was DLC. The clarification is that's only kind of the case, because one of them is free, and they're not gonna do that fighting game thing where they make a bunch of versions and you have to rebuy the game 3 times. But I will believe it when I see it. Fighting game developers frequently say that, and it usually turns out to be a fucking lie. It's looking like the Mega Man X collection is going to be split into 2, because apparently putting a bunch of PS1 games together is hard.
What? What am I fighting for?
If you have Twitch Prime or Amazon Prime, which also means you have Twitch Prime, you can get a free download of the PC version of Devil May Cry HD Collection starting on February 27th, which is significant because it doesn't actually launch until 2 weeks later. Play a game from 2001 before anyone else. There's going to be a Call of Duty movie directed by the director of Sicario 2. You might be asking yourself, is that really a good idea? To which I would respond, have you seen Sicario 2? No, actually, real question. Has anyone seen Sicario 2? Also, there's a Five Nights at Freddy's movie, which is going to be directed by Chris Columbus, who, if my history is correct, discovered America? I thought that this man was a malaria-riddled corpse who has been rotting for centuries, but apparently he's making a movie about evil Chuck E. Cheese, and for such he will surely go down in history. The term manifesto gets thrown around a lot these days, but so does the phrase, Lyle, you're a genius, you should write a manifesto. Now, while I may be attractive and brilliant and humble and buff and attractive and cooler than everybody else, the show isn't about me. I agree, it should be, but it's really about video games. Because at the end of the day, I am but one man, but video games, look at them all. Look at all these men! I'm Lyle Rath, and this is Pregame Discharge, the only video game show that had to do a double take on what I just said. Donald Trump. Wait, no, don't. This is a short one, I promise. Donald Trump is either blaming or pretending to blame violent video games and movies for the recent, well, You know. Idiot pearl-clutching soccer moms and deflective political pundits have been trying to do this for years. There are tons of studies on this, none of which have been able to successfully connect violence in video games, many of which actually connect video games to a fear of being the victim of potential violence. But regardless, President Trump is going to be meeting with executives from the video game industry and has suggested that maybe we should have a rating system for those. Which segues nicely into our next story. The ESRB is now going to start labeling on physical games when they contain additional microtransactions. So far, it seems like it's just a single catch-all label and it doesn't seem to actually affect the rating of the game. But it's a start, it's better than nothing. I'll take it as a small victory against these fucking boxes. Metal Gear Survive, which is a stinky game that nobody likes, has a stinky feature that nobody likes. If for whatever reason you want to create a second character in Metal Gear Survive, which is 2 more than you should create, that is $10. That's right, you have to pay $10 for a save slot. Overwatch is getting a new character called Brigitte. We've seen her in some cinematics before. She is a support character that kind of plays a little bit like Reinhardt, but she's less tanky and she heals people. Far Cry 5 is getting a live-action short film next week. It's called Inside Eden's Gate, and I'll tell you, it's not fucking out yet. I don't know what it's about. Why would you think Final Boys 15 is coming out on the PC May 1st, and you can cover Gladio's glorious abs up with either Gordon Freeman's HEV suit or some weird Sims 4 dog thing, depending on if you want to pre-order it on Steam or Origin. There's an update for the Uncharted and Last of Us movies. If you're like me and you're thinking, what's the point of making Uncharted or The Last of Us into a movie? The update is that the creative leads behind those movies agree with us. As it stands, neither one of these movies is slated to be a direct adaptation of the stories told in any of the games. Fuck me. Which sounds good if they were ever going to happen, but as we all know, video game movies, they never happen. Only weird ones happen. Remember Blood Rain? Blood Rain happened. Rampage is happening. Why do those happen? Alright, I'm here to lay down the law, so listen the fuck up. Long hens make long eggs, long lives meet long ends. That's a haiku for hi you, and hi me has shit to do, so don't think too far into what I just said, because that's not actually a haiku. It was just a fucking poem. That was just a fucking poem. Don't shake your spear at me, you whiny bitch. I'm off to fucking Canada. You have any idea how easy it is to lose a corpse in the snow? Because you can find out, or you want to keep testing me on my iambic pent-up rage. Now, put your pretentious creative writing degree back where you found it, because I'm about to school you real time. I'm Lyle Rath, and this is Pregame Discharge, the only video game show that will put you in that fucking snow, so help you God. And if he wants a piece of me, I'll take him too. Pit People is out of early access. If you've ever wanted to see some people in a pit and wanted to laugh a lot along the way, the musings of a crazy man. Full disclosure, my friends are in it, but I'm pretty excited about it. It's a behemoth game. You ever played Castle Crashers? Good. If you like not paying extra money for little stupid boxes in a single player game, then rejoice, because when asked if God of War has microtransactions, director Cory Barlog said, no freaking way. This is a victory for video games in 2018 because, man, we are just so far gone. Speaking of one of the last glimmers of light in this slow dying world, Geralt from The Witcher is going to be guest starring in a game later this year. Let us hope with our full bodies and souls that it is Soul Calibur 6.
What is that? I am lovable character Pinor.
Chop you with my axes.
Oh god, no.
Yeah, I won.
There was a new Nintendo Direct, and it made me 10 out of 10 erect. As in, I just erect my self-respect. Fucking... I don't have much time before I'm extradited to the goddamn Yukon. You can look up the full thing if you want to see everything they announced. Or on Destructoid.com, we have a really convenient article. Most of the announcements were just Nintendo Switch ports of existing games, oldies but goodies, like Dark Souls, Undertale, Okami, South Park, The Fractured But Whole, and Dark Souls. Can you believe it? That the famous Sony exclusive property Dark Souls is on the Nintendo Switch? Stubbing my toe is the Dark Souls of walking. The big announcement here is that they teased a new Smash Bros. Game. Not much is known about it, the teaser is super brief, but the Inkling from Splatoon is in it. We get to see silhouettes of Mario and Link without his hat, which means it's Breath of the Wild Link, meaning this is probably not a port of Smash 4 and is instead an entirely new game. There's also a wide shot with a bunch of silhouettes of other characters, including the crystal clear silhouette of 50 50 Cent from 50 Cent Blood on the Sand. There's no other character it could possibly be. I told you. Now I've gotten the last laugh and made you look a fool. Oh, hi. I totally saw you there. In fact, I saw you there before you were there. Let me explain to you a little something. In quantum mechanics, I just realized this topic is probably a little bit over your head, so I'm just gonna make it nice and simple. Something is amiss around here. Now, it'd be eggs, ice, toilet paper, and cheese. So if you could go get some of those from the store, I've got to take care of that gold screaming guy in the corner, because you probably don't see him yet, do you? I'm Lyle Wrath, and this is Pregame Discharge, the only video game show where... Oh, yeah, there he is. By the way, brown eggs. I know they probably don't actually taste any different. For some reason, I feel like I like them better. Yeah, okay, fine. A Narcos video game is happening next year. If you've ever wanted to step into the shoes of John Narco and do battle against the other 7 evil narcos, then this game is probably gonna be about the TV show and not that. Dragon Ball FighterZ is officially the most entered game at EVO. And among the contestants is the game's producer, Tomoko Hiroki. Now let's not focus on how badly I just butchered that name and turn to the real issue here. Is that even legal? I feel like that's an issue that will probably come up in the extremely unlikely event that he actually wins. Star Wars Battlefront 2 is getting loot boxes. Oh boy, round 2. So this time they're back and better than ever. And by better than ever, I mean they only have cosmetic things in them. All the weapons and Darth whatever, those can only be unlocked by gameplay now. So if you want to do any Darth Vading, you can do so with a presumably reasonable amount of playing the game. Either this is good enough for you or it's not, but that's as much as they're willing to do, and it doesn't seem like they're horrendously overstepping like they did the first time. In news that we all actually care about, and I totally called last time, Geralt of Rivia is going to be joining the cast of Soul Calibur 6.
90s Drew Carey.
Yeah, back when he was still fat. Modern day Drew Carey is skinny.
Drew Carey. Wow.
Yeah, take a swim. That's Drew Carey's catchphrase. Take a swim. I'm sure glad I got to integrate that one.
Shadow of the Tomb Raider, which is the new Tomb Raider, got revealed. You get to see a tomb. I hope nothing raids it. Also, they made a Tomb Raider movie. Did I talk about that? I feel like I didn't even know it was a thing, but I might have mentioned that it was a thing. Do you know Drake? The guy what dances weird and I guess was on Degrassi or something? Well, apparently he played Fortnite on Twitch with a Twitch streamer called Ninja. Now, the more you care about this, the less we have in common. But even if you don't give a fuck about the actual event itself, if you care about gaming, it is news. Drake is, I think, a pretty major celebrity, and this stream got a lot of attention. In fact, it is by far the most watched stream ever on Twitch, possibly ever on the planet. I didn't really research this. So what does this mean? Well, number one, it draws a lot of attention to Twitch as a platform, meaning Amazon money boy Jeff Bezos will have even more sticky cash in his oily little hands to not pay taxes on, which I'm sure had nothing to do with Drake appearing on a Twitch live stream and tweeting it out. That would be ridiculous. Number two, this is probably the point where Fortnite solidifies itself as the quintessential battle royale game, definitely right now and into the foreseeable future. Now, this was probably going to happen either way. I've been doom screaming the fall of PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds for quite a while now, and this certainly sped it right the fuck up. Number three, expect to see a lot more corporate pairings of celebrities and Twitch streamers in the future attempting to recapture this lightning in a bottle. It'll probably work a few times, but keep an eye out for the release of the resulting cringe compilations in Q4 2018. There is a time before space. There is a land before time. 2. It had like a little T-Rex or something in it. This is stupid. Can we abort this? No, we're kicking it down the stairs. We're getting the coat hanger. This is a fucking video game show. Land Before Time 2 was 47 years ago. Did you know that the original Super Mario Brothers was discovered by the Pilgrims? Do you remember Pong on the Atari? Do you remember Constantinople? I'm Lyle Wrath, and this is Pregame Discharge, the only video game show that, no, where to go. Get you a martini so well shaken, it'll be like you as an infant. And I don't think I didn't notice the shape of your head. It's all right. Turned out fine. The Uprising event is returning to Overwatch on April 10th, which anyone who owns a calendar and keeps track of it would already know. But I'm telling you, so you don't have to hear it from them, because they are freaks. Dragon Quest XI finally has a release date in the West. On September 4th, you can finally get your hands on a game that's been out in Japan since a year and a half prior. Better late than never, and it's good to know that they at least kinda give a shit about us. Barely. It'll release on the PC and PS4. No word yet on the Switch port, but that's not even out in Japan yet, so either it'll release around the same time in the West, or 2020 is gonna be a good year for Switch owners to party like it's 2017. Dragon Ball FighterZ is getting 2 new DLC fighters. Z Fighter Z's. Broly and Bardock are gonna be in the game, and they're gonna get you. I'm happy there's another Goku-looking ass dude. There really weren't enough of those. God Eater 3 is coming to the PS4 and PC. This marks the first time the franchise is not a re-release of a fucking PSP game, which means that maybe the bar can be raised a little bit and the interface won't look like oversized Fisher-Price Duplo shit. Maybe. The Witcher developer CD Projekt Red's next game, Cyberpunk 2077, will first and foremost focus on being an expansive single-player game with no microtransactions. This is a crowning achievement in modern video games, and I am happy for them. Also a crowning achievement is that somewhere there is a CGI Unreal Engine rendition of Andy Serkis's actual head, and I will buy as many loot boxes as it tells me to, because look at it. Alright, I didn't want to have to do this, but it is time that I dispel some slanderous lies about me and my character. Namely that I, quote, am just fucking around and, quote, don't know what I'm doing here. First of all, where am I? Second, if the people making these allegations are so goddamn smart, how come they don't host the only video game show on the internet? I'm Lyle Rath, and this is Pregame Discharge. Seriously, it's the only video game show. No other ones exist. Don't even bother looking, because you'll not find another. Of this I promise. Why am I speaking in this strange manner? Doth an aneurysm take hold of me, perchance? Verily do I yearn for it to act with haste. Shadow of War is getting rid of these stupid fucking boxes that it probably shouldn't have had in it in the first place. When asked in an interview, some fucking idiot said some pre-approved PR piece of bullshit, whatever the fuck. Basically, the paid loot boxes are being taken out and the game is being rebalanced, because of course it is. Every time these fucking things show up, guess what? The game is designed around testing your patience, because if it wasn't, why would you buy them in the first place? If I sound cynical, that's because number one, I am, and number two, this has probably been a move that they calculated a long time ago. When the loot box sales start slowing down, that's when they drop them for good PR to get a little kick in sales once the game is faded from relevancy. This is still a good thing. If you've been boycotting Shadow of War, you know, now is the time to buy it, I guess. But if they think we don't see what they're doing, they really should know better. The original Spyro games are getting remastered. Much like the Crash Bandicoot Big Boy Edition, the Spyro Reignited trilogy will bring the original 3 games out of the worst era for video game graphics and into the modern age. That is not a jab, by the way. If there's any generation of game that warrants remastering, I mean, come on, look at this. You're gonna tell me this still holds up? Insomniac's Spider-Man game got some new footage and no, I'm not supposed to feel! There was also an interview that involved asking rapid-fire questions, so my summary of it would be pretty much exactly the same length as the original video. But the most important information, release date is September 7th. There are no microtransactions. They went in depth on how the swinging worked, because that is the core mechanic and the main thing they wanted to make sure that they got right, and fuck! Divinity Original Sin 2 is being released on the PS4 and Xbox One. It'll also feature couch co-op, so all you console gamers can say to the PC players, ha, I can play locally with my friends and you can't, to which they'll respond, joke's on you, idiot, I don't have friends, and you'll both just kind of feel bad. Well, it's official. Lawbreakers has officially been battleborned. I mean, abandonborned. abandoned. And by that I mean nobody ever played it. Boss Key is now shifting to a different project, leaving the keys to the broken down Pinto with its publisher Nexon. Is this the biggest commercial Battleborn since the last one? Perhaps not. Let me tell you a little story about a game called Breakaway, published by Amazon. Once upon a time, it's dead. That's the whole story. And the moral of that story is, it's better to try and have Battleborn than to never have been born to battle at all. Unless you're like an investor. In that case, yeah, that's actually way worse. I guess what I'm trying to say is, I don't know what I'm trying to say. My friends, this week I find myself adrift through the cosmic unknown. My lust for vengeance has taken me off-world, for a beacon has come forth from that one planet. The one with the dickhead on it. You know who you are, and I heard what you said. So cold are the wincing screams of space, shrieks ringing out through the nebulous void as though the kung fu grips of a drunken madman are collapsing the vocal cords of somebody who thought that I wouldn't be coming for him, that maybe I would have better things to do, and that has severely underestimated my abundance of free time and access to interplanetary travel. God, why didn't I bring something to read? Anyway, if you hear that sound, don't call anybody. That's just the sound that space makes. I'm Lyle Rath, and this is Pregame Discharge, the only video game show that probably took this too far. Animal Crossing, the phone one, is getting loot, but fortune cookies, loot boxes, whatever. Are these acceptable in mobile games? Well, that's what they want to find out, and if they are, they'll put them in everything, and you'll never be free. The memories of a simpler time will rattle you awake in the night. Also, Platinum is taking a crack at making phone games. They're making an action game called World of Demons that you can get under your little sausage fingers and probably buy some sort of premium currency in, like a gem or a jewel. But the game will be free, and whatever this means, you can pre-register now. Dark Souls Remastered and also the Solaire amiibo have both been delayed on the Switch until this summer. I know, you guys were all really excited to play a game from 2011 and you thought, I can wait 6.5 years, but 6 3/4 of a year, ooh, that's where I draw the line. I'm with you, sister. Have you ever thought, man, I wish that Call of Duty didn't have a single player and instead had a battle royale mode? That might or might not be what's happening with Black Ops 4. It's a rumor, but it's a very believable sounding one, because everything that once brought me joy has turned to shit and continues to shitten worsely henceforth. The Mega Man X collection will be split into 2 different collections in a manner that can't possibly have an explanation that isn't total bullshit. For $20, you can get the first 4 of the 6 games that once fit on a PS2 or GameCube disc 12 years ago, or you can get X5 and X6 bundled with 2 forms of completely inhumane torture. You can also buy both collections together for $40, but if you buy it on the Switch, you'll have to download the second one, making actually buying this goddamn thing the equivalent to 5-finger fillet in consumer purchasing decision form. But I know you'll do it. I can see the danger in your eye. Hey, have you guys ever spent all night coughing your lungs out and then gone, hey, I really want to record a video game show with a throat full of boogers? Then once again, I find myself living your dream, my friend. As though all the gorgeous women I've sexed and space karate tournaments I've won were not enough, I get to have this too. It's not fair, I know, but you've got to have something to aspire to, right? I'm Lyle Rath, and this is Pregame Discharge, the only video game show where... Oh, fuck. That was real. That was genuinely kill me. Dragon Ball FighterZ is getting a Goku Vegeta. No, I did not just have a stroke. The roster of multiple Vegetas and way too many Gokus is getting a new addition in the way of Super Saiyan God Super Saiyan Vegito, which is a fusion of Goku, Vegeta, and 4 too many words. Shadow of the Tomb Raider got its first major trailer, confirming that yes, Lara Croft does have a shadow. She is not a vampire. Rejoice. Wait, that's Reflections, isn't it? Do they have shadows? Leave in the comments if vampires have shadows or not. Lara Croft is possibly a vampire. Grand Theft Auto 4 just got an update that removes about 50 songs from the in-game radio. This is because these songs were on a 10-year licensing agreement and they legally had to do it. But either way, welcome to video games, everybody. Earth Defense Force 5 is headed west this summer. This is great news if you're into fun, stupid bullshit like me. Halo is coming to the PC. Well, maybe. And it already did did, but then it undid. And this is all the same story, I swear to God. Basically, a team made a mod for Halo 3 on the PC called El Dorito. Microsoft stepped in and kinda sorta half-heartedly shut it down, which, before you get your pitchforks, is kind of something you have to do to retain your intellectual property. But in their comments about it, they kind of sort of implied that Halo would be coming to the PC. So basically what I'm saying is, put up or shut up, because everyone is gonna think you're a dick if you don't. And if you port everything but Reach again, I will yell at you from the afterlife, which I have henceforth escapen thrice. Hey, what's up? Oh, that? I come down now on a thunderbolt sometimes. It's not important. What is important is that there is another kind of storm brewing. A storm of video games doing a big ol' happen. And you don't know about it yet. As G.I. Joseph used to espouse, knowing is half the battle. And you should really listen to that guy because he's jacked as fuck and has seen death. Would you arm wrestle him? Would you go visit him in the psych ward and challenge him to a test of physical strength? I don't think so. That's why I'm here. To get the answers to the questions you didn't even know to ask yet. I'm Lyle Wrath, and this is Pregame Discharge, the only video game show that keeps you on your toes. Red Dead Redemption 2 got a new trailer and a bunch of new screenshots. We also catch a glimpse of a younger John Marston, which insinuates that this game is a prequel. Not sure if that's news, but it's the first time my stupid ass has put it together, so I figured I'd mention it for everybody else who had a pretty hazy 2010. If I know you, and I don't, I know that you are the world's biggest Vampire fan. Well, rejoice! Vampire got a new trailer where you can watch a feller chew on a bunch of boys. Destiny 2 is getting a major expansion that will feature a new game mode. No details have been given, so it could be anything from a battle royale mode to a ripoff of that weird MOBA thing that Halo did. Personally, my money is on battle royale mode with some kind of gimmick that they'll claim makes it totally different, but will shortly thereafter be emulated in Fortnite if it's even remotely a success. The release date will be somewhere in the fall, and the expansion will be called Comet. Comets are coming to Fortnite! The Season 4 update involves meteors hitting the map and changing things up in a whole new way, or maybe not really. Shadow of War is getting an expansion called Desolation of Mordor. This time you play as a normal guy rather than a dude who has dominion over an army of orcs and a ghost elf, and the mode is described to be a roguelike of sorts, which means death is probably permanent, and every character you play as will probably have a varied set of attributes. God of War is officially the PS4's fastest selling exclusive. In 3 days, it sold 3.1 million copies, which equates to over 1 million Kratoses yelling at the boy per day. Beyond Good and Evil 2 got a new developer blog showcasing some combat and flight. The game still looks pretty developmental, but it does seem like it's only a matter of time before we're launching monkeys into space like we're trying to get somewhere before Russia. You ever just get tired of it, man? You ever get tired of these suits always telling you what to do? You ever get tired of these walls that society builds? Well, I don't. I don't even own a bed, because I don't get tired. I get even. I wall the suits and I suit the walls and I fuck my goddamn hand when I'm done. You know why? Because that's the bow to playing society like a fiddle. This is the revolution, bitch, and me and these two topless Korean girls making out on my screen are starting it. I'm Lyle Wrath, and this is the only video game show that would just like to move on now. No Man's Sky is finally getting multiplayer alongside its Xbox launch on July 24th. This may be exactly the push that this game needed to change its perception from horrible piece of shit to improperly labeled early access game, because it's becoming more and more apparent that's clearly what it was. Have you ever wanted a survival game that makes you check for infected wounds and be wary of those jungle fish that swim up your pee hole? Well then Green Hell might just be up your alley. Or your pee hole. It just got an announcement trailer and it is a properly labeled early access game, which means that you can shower it with praise when it gets a menu or a sprint button or a field of view slider. You see how this works, No Man's Sky? Okami HD is coming to the Switch August 9th. Story done. Boom. Nice. Nailed it. The developer of Lawbreakers and Radical Heights, Boss Key Productions, is shutting down. Look, I know that I shit on game studios when they're fucking up, probably including Boss Key in the past. I have the memory of a goldfish on cocaine, but that's because I want them to be better, not because I want them to go away. This is genuinely a bummer. That was my bummer cough. Cliff Blazinski took to Twitter and posted some concept art of some games that Bosky was possibly going to go into development on, including a really badass looking one where you were a samurai riding a dragon. I think I speak for all of us when I say, fuck, that looks cool. Cliffy B, obviously not too happy about this, is taking some time off, but we hope to see you back someday, my friend. Rage 2 got an announcement trailer. Did it make you angry? I wasn't. They should have called it, yeah, okay. 2. The director of Mortal Kombat, Ed Boon, is starting to spell things with K's all the time instead of C's. Either he's teasing a new Mortal Kombat, or he's had a stroke. Somebody who cares about his well-being should probably check on him. And if he doesn't smell toast, it's news. Sony has told us not to expect hardware news at E3 2018. Yeah, good. All right, sound the alarms. This is fucking war. Valve is targeting adult visual novels for removal from Steam, and I am not having it.
The big-tittied cartoons that adorn our body pillows are all at stake. Honey Pop has been removed. No! What are we gonna do? Buy them on other websites and services? Ones that don't inform our friends how many hours we've played of each game and give us publicly viewable trophies that reveal the specifics of what we've been doing? Without that, what is even the point, I say? An outrage! An outrage is this?
Well, if it isn't you again. I've had it about up to here with you. And if you had it about up to here with me, maybe you'd be here right now to say it to my face. I bet you'd be all like, and I'd say something like, do you realize how stupid you sound? And that might really make you take a look in the mirror for once and realize I've been you all along. You need to get yourself together. You need to stop drinking before you record your show. You need to stop doing this to the people around you. But you'll never learn. You'll just fall deeper into the cycle that you've been in for years, and you'll blame it on everybody else because you are a fucking moron. And I am Lyle Wrath. Welcome to Pregame Discharge, the only video game show that's fucking fine, alright? That doesn't need your help. Battlefield 5 got a trailer. Or wait, should I say Battlefield V? And the V is for vagina! Yes, that's right. There is a woman in a World War II game and the internet is a shriek. This is an outrage. God said it's meant to be Saving Private Ryan, not concaving privates and buying shoes. But does it matter? Does anything matter? Honestly, I'll be more mad if she doesn't use her metal hand to twist up a Nazi's guts like spaghetti. Also, it's been announced that Battlefield 5 won't have loot boxes or a season pass, but it apparently has 2 forms of currency, and the premium currency will only be used for aesthetic items, so basically it'll just have good old-fashioned, free-to-play, League of Legends-style microtransactions. Is it fuck to anyone else that we're celebrating this now? Because it's typically just so much worse. Killer 7 is getting a remaster for the PC. If you never played it, it's a weird game for the GameCube. It's cel-shaded and bizarre. I think the No More Heroes guy made it. I don't know, it's supposedly good. Or it was. I didn't play it. Did you play it? I didn't play it. Let me know in the comments if it's good. Far Cry 5's Vietnam DLC got a teaser trailer showing off that it takes place in Vietnam, and that's about it. The legal team for PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds is trying to sue Fortnite in Korea, claiming that the game is a carbon copy of PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds. This isn't the first time they've tried to go after a battle royale game in foreign lands. They recently tried to sue a Chinese knockoff of PUBG, claiming that they had invented the frying pan or some shit like that. I don't know, this move just kind of reeks of insecurity. More than likely, this lawsuit is just to slow down Fortnite's expansion into Korea, where it will surely eat PUBG's market like it did here, which is a plight made completely unsympathetic by frankly embarrassing moves like this. A bunch of developers from sick-ass shooting games like Bulletstorm, Far Cry 3, Gears of War, Wolfenstein, and even Doom are coming together to form a new studio called Neon Giant, and I assume they're working on a sick-ass shooting game, probably finally, we might even get one of those lame 3-second title text teaser trailer things at the next E3. Why did that have so many fucking T's in it? I did not mean for that to happen. It's a goddamn tongue twister. Speaking of E3, expect a lot of developers to be showing off cryptic, weird, not really informations. Bethesda's teasing some Fallout thing. But you know what? I'm not gonna be your little fucking monkey. I'm not gonna take your bait and dance your dance because I am above that. And also because we're kind of figuring out scheduling for E3. Don't freak out if June's a little weird. Hey Lyle, are you gonna do one of those things where you talk about E3? Evolution is a terrifying thing, but I wouldn't know because I've evolved past the need for fear. I have opened my third eye, and before me I witness the third E, a beast that feeds upon excited shrieks and broken promises. I am Lyle Wrath, and this would be Pregame Discharge, the only video game show that stands between me and vengeance. But not today, because you already know what's going down. Today, I get to be kind of a dick, for there is but one slippery little law that remains in this land. Sing along if you know the words. No game, no hype, those is the rules. Let's fucking do this! Yeah! Making characters jump out of the TV, one after my own heart. Now don't fuck it up by announcing a battle
Royale, reimagined for Battlefield.
Is the whole thing gonna be like this? To be fair, Call of Duty for narcoleptics has never really gripped me. But I guess the staple of those games is already finding one player every 87 minutes and then dying from a single bullet to the foot, so making the player exit back to the main menu every time it happens might just be the excitement that the franchise needs. I'll give it a pass, and a hard pass. Sports! Here, we brought a really big cup for everybody to drink out of. Okay, I know you're super hesitant to get back in the shower with this rectal expulsion, but don't worry. They're gonna reel back in the Star Wars fans with all their favorite things. The Ewoks, the prequels, and the iconic Han Solo, played of course by Alden Ehrenreich. Am I an angry person? Sports! This looks really cool, but these kinds of games, I keep wanting to like them and then they let me down. Rolling the dice on an artsy game at this point is a lot like sticking something up your butt. You just want to feel something, but a lot of the time you just can't get into it. A Command and Conquer game for the iPhone crowd. Why? And here we are, EA's biggest announcement of the show, that they're sorry, and they promise they won't do it again. Look, Anthem might actually turn out to be good now, but the only reason that's a thing is because EA got in all that fucking trouble. 2017 EA would have had this be a slow grind, microtransaction extorting loot box hell, and you know it. But now that they've been getting yelled at by brave and attractive people on the internet, not gonna name names, oh, and also the Belgian government, Anthem might actually be dragged kicking and screaming to critical and financial success with minimal PR issues, so... You know, you're welcome. Also, hey, fucking jetpacks, that's cool. The artist formerly known as Box and its mascot, Phil Spencer. No game, no hype, those is the rules, but don't think I don't appreciate the frantic backpedaling. I hope this game paid their art team well, cause fuck, look at that. Dark Souls with big jumps and a grappling hook, sure, sign me up. I have a special kinship with these games in that we're both obnoxiously hard and usually you don't finish. We'll get back to you, you conference hopping son of a bitch. In this game, the little boy uses his imagination to segue into talking about something else. Okay, bear with me here. Picture a scenario. It's the end of 2018. Wait, when does this game come out? Okay, it's the end of 2019, apparently. All the gaming websites and the YouTubers and the people you follow on Twitter are making their top games of the year list. Now imagine that. Realistically, you're looking at this. Do you think Crackdown 3 is gonna come up at all? Like, it might be fun, I don't know, but what is this game aspiring to be? This is another game that I think looks pretty mediocre, but at least for Metro, I know a few people that go, oh, I really like those games. With Crackdown, nobody is asking for... I'm moving backwards at this point. All right, this is a port, this is DLC, this is a bit of a raw subject. I'd like to just move on from this one, please. Cars! But your car's friends and the weather changes and it's an MMO or something, and nobody crashes the cars. Why does nobody crash the cars? It's a video game, this is wrong. Am I sick for thinking that they should be crashing the Look out! Yeah, okay, dude. Your game is out. Who are you fooling with this? You don't get to pretend that your game is exciting and then reveal the existence of snow like it's a big deal. Fuck Fuck you! This is a 10-year-old game at this point, but I actually would recommend it. Listen to this very real in-game chat.
Duke, Kit, did you guys hear that?
Yeah.
Closer this time.
Wow. Okay.
Definitely from the capital. Flare is up, control point is ours.
Nice.
Guys wanna check out the plane?
In case you're unclear on what the fuck you're listening to, these aren't supposed to be characters in the game. They're allegedly real people like you and your friends playing it and just talking to each other like this. Can we stop doing this forever, please? Lara Croft whoopsies the whole dang old apocalypse. What a silly lady. No game, no hype, those is the rules, but please let this be damn it. Skate 3 was a fucking masterpiece of jank, and its legacy will live for generations and generations to come. Did everyone just kind of forget that we hated playing as Nero? That was the whole reason the reboot happened in the first place. No? Anyone? Whatever. Woo! Nero's back! Everyone's favorite. What is this? Do you think that I'm some sort of a baby? Oh shit, it looks like Link to the Past. Fuck, I'm gonna buy it. Fuck! Bill Naruto, the Science Gairuto, gets to do a fight with Goku and Mr. Long. A clash forever in the making. I'd say no game, no hype. Those are the rules, but if you can find game of it, ooh, it's looking pretty rough. After years of tracing the alphabet with my tongue, I've finally found the Heraclitus. I thought it to be only a myth. Usually you can kill my interest in something immediately by putting zombies in it, but this looks like it's a lot more about doing sick jumps and human interactions. By interactions, I mean murder. I'm gonna give this a no game, no hype. Those is the rules. Oh, it's a new Gears of War game. You actual literal assholes. The level of contempt is delicious. I can't even be mad. Oh, okay, it's a real one this time. I mean, the gameplay actually looks pretty decent, but man, they really have fucking lost the plot with this, haven't they? It seems like the level of writing you'd get from a machinima made by 18-year-olds in like 2009. Oh, fuck. No game, no hype. Those is the rules. Psst, hey, between you and me, I'm kinda hyped because I like these guys. Oh, damn it, they heard! Fuck! Oh, no! Anything but jail for video games! Ah, Bethesda, my arch nemesis and ex-lover. You know, we've had our ups and downs, but you made a lot of promises this year. Plus, you brought the Sultan of Parties here for peace negotiations, so I'm willing to give this a shot. That said, strap yourself in, Caramel Colon, because I'm about to knock all this out in one go. Cards, add-on, port of a mobile game, add-on, 4 no game, no hypes, those is the rules. Quake looks fine, and I don't think anybody really believes that a mobile version of Elder Scrolls is really gonna function. Alright, let's address the big nuclear elephant in the room and possibly get my whole damn self crucified. This Fallout thing really looks like it could go either way. Look, exploring the wasteland with friends seems like a fucking dream come true, and there is a goddamn Mothman. I like all that. My first asshole puckering moment was when I heard, "You must rebuild." I don't like that fucking word. And based on what was said or not said, it seems like the biggest thing they took a machete to make room for the multiplayer stuff is the story. You're gonna make your own story. You're gonna decide who are the heroes and the villains. Sounds like a fancy marketing dance for there isn't any. And you know what? I'll say it. I don't really think that Fallout plays well enough to the point where I'd go, oh yeah, I would really like a player versus player competitive multiplayer aspect to this. I mean, look at Rage. Rage looks fun as shit. That's the game I want multiplayer in. And Fallout could work for multiplayer, but it seems like they're taken from the pot of like Rust and DayZ, rather than something that feels like a multiplayer Fallout experience with like a rich populated world and interesting quests with fun characters and moral quandaries. I'll give it a chance, but I'm lowering my expectations to the point where I'm pretending it's not a Fallout game. Hey, Captain, did you just let the traitors go? 'Cause you be soft. This is a mutiny, by the way. Beyond Good and Evil 2 is a game. It has assets, it has animations, it has particles, it has, in fact, all the qualities of a thing that exists. Could you clap a little harder? I don't think you're giving this enough credit. This is accurate marketing for Trials. Why the hell are there not more pirate games by now? This looks fine, I just don't feel like I'm gonna get what I want out of a competitive multiplayer pirate game, which is real, actual scurvy that will rend me from this earth. Ah, bringing in the king of the baby toy company for your baby toy game. I can't believe I'm saying this, but I'm actually excited for a modern Assassin's Creed. And by that I mean ancient Greece is cool enough to where I am willing to tolerate a modern Assassin's Creed. All right, PC gaming show, is there anything worth seeing here?
This
Ladies and gentlemen, is Webster from Drake's Cakes, and he's got a cool competition for you.
Okay then.
So you get to play as the shark. You are the shark.
This is a neat looking cartoony game with a stylistic low frame rate, so it looks like it's rotoscope animation. I'm sure that PC gamers will forgive that, right? I mean, frame rates aren't that big of a deal, especially not to PC gamers, I assume. Sony, why do you make me find this fucking logo on Google Images every year? Just put it on a screen like everybody else, you piece of shit! Last of Us is a game that I thought really didn't need a sequel, but... Yeah, alright, cool. This is probably fake gameplay, or at very least fake-ish, but it's Naughty Dog, so this could just be witchcraft. Am I insinuating Naughty Dog is staffed entirely by witches from the future? Yeah, that is exactly what Maybe this is a weird thing to say, but I've just now realized that I've never played an open-world samurai game. I'm sitting here like, I have to have played something like that before, and my brain is like, have you? It sounds right, but I'm drawing a blank, so cool? There aren't enough games that let you pelt fellers with objects. This game should be called Pelt-a-Feller. Feel free to get in contact with my agent. No game, no hype, those is the rules, unless this plays like the original Resident Evil 2, in which case, it probably shouldn't.
And the Unversed collected enough screams and sadness from those children.
I've seen that clip before. I genuinely waited until this exact moment to watch it again, and it was just as good as I remember. I'm sure we're all sold on this fucking beautiful mess, but can we not pretend that this gameplay showed anything exciting? You're embarrassing me in front of my cool friends. I don't know why you'd take Spider-Man indoors and showcase that. You showed better gameplay of this in the post-show. Wait, this is over? Nintendo lovin' by the pale moonlight. Pour one out for all the forgotten games that were announced before Smash. This robot one looks alright. What a great way to end off E3. The new Smash, it's got everything in it. Snake is back, so I can finally stop thinking the worst one is the best one. My only concern is that I've always considered Zelda to be an attractive older woman, and now she's younger than me. Is this death? Is this the catalyst to my end? 'Cause if so, this is gonna be the fucking game of the year. Don't call it a comeback. I never stopped coming. My hot paste of passion is the mortar the bricks of this house were laid on. You may think that's vile, but it's nothing compared to the disgusting malady that is bureaucracy. This is a show about video games. Welcome to the goddamn party. I just want to spend my days eating Weedawana in the cool glow of the mortality orb, but you fucking Poindexters keep pulling me back in. I'm Lyle Wrath, and this is Pregame Discharge, the only video game show that wades into the murky blood sea of baby toys and still emerges hungrier. Oh man, it's been a nice break. Did you miss me? Monster Hunter World is coming to the PC August 9th. PC players may be disappointed to know that it won't feature cross-platform play or mod support. But anyone who actually knows any of this game will probably be unsurprised by that, considering it doesn't even have like a fucking functional user interface. Jesus Christ. Overwatch is getting a new hero called Wrecking Ball. He's a cute little hamster and a giant robot, and if you hate that idea, don't worry. When it's destroyed, his limp, shrieking body is violently ejected from it. Showtime is making a Halo TV show, which, no, they're not. Remember the last 8 times they made a Halo movie? Remember the Gears of War movie? Remember the Tetris trilogy? Remember the Five Nights at Freddy's movie? Remember the God of War movie? Remember the Uncharted movie? I can keep doing this. Also, Jim Carrey is allegedly going to play Dr. Eggman in a live-action Sonic the Hedgehog movie. And this one I actually do hope is real. Everybody's favorite Japanime fighter, Jump Force, is going to include Bleach. And I don't mean the thing you'll want to drink after playing it. Thank you. Thank you. Yes, I know it was hilarious. All right, stop. Far Cry 5 is gonna be putting you on Mars for its next DLC, coming out July 17th. So if your biggest problem with Far Cry 5 is that the rocks weren't red enough for you, well, you're probably weird, but this one's for you. Beyond Blue is a game that hooks directly into the anxiety centers of your brain and rattles it around, screaming, look it, it's sea creatures in the dark. It's way bigger than you. Fucking sheer terror, I dig it. Bethesda is suing Warner Brothers Interactive over similarities between the Westworld game and Fallout Shelter. Apparently it goes as deep as the Westworld game using code from Fallout Shelter, which Bethesda was able to identify by a bug in both games' code. Oh, Todd Howard, you quirky little jewel. Microsoft has given up on VR for the Xbox One because it is too hard, and so am I. But unlike them, I will continue for 1,000 years. Rigid boys till the end of time. Your fair weather fantasy of troning out and whacking off in the living room will have to be realized elsewhere. But that's a journey that I think we're all willing to make together. Hello and welcome to a very special episode of Pregame Discharge. What makes it special, you ask? Well, you do. Because as we all know, you can't spell Pregame Discharge without you. This is a family company, and we've been family since the year 1965, when the first episode of Pregame Discharge aired to televisions across America, touching the hearts and imaginations of children and adults alike. A lot has changed since then, but we still keep those core values and principles alive. So why don't you come and join us? I'm Lyle Rath. This is Pregame Discharge. You're in a coma, and the simulation is shutting down soon. No Man's Sky is finally going to try to break out of being the biggest whoopsie daisy to come out of the upsie hole since me. The new update, titled No Man's Sky Next, will come out July 24th. It'll add a gaggle of new features, including the biggest one, multiplayer, and makes the game less fucking ugly. Will No Man's Sky finally capture the vision it promised us years ago? I sure hope so. They should have just called this goddamn thing an early access game and everyone would have been happy, but no! Marketing is a slippery beast that consumes all children. Never trust a monster that offers jewels if you can't see through them. Sea of Thieves is getting skeletons on July 31st. Technically it already had them, but they were inside people, so Sea of Thieves is removing skin and all the fleshy bits, and then they're putting the skeletons back on a boat. They'll come after you. They'll get you. Okay, I've been ignoring this story for a few weeks, a couple months, whatever, but this has to be fucking addressed again. What is up with the UK and Crash Bandicoot? The Insane Trilogy came out like a goddamn year ago, and it's still, to this day, topping the UK sales charts, even when new games come out. These quaint little people running around going, oh mate, innit, I'm gonna play me fucking Crash Bandicoot, I'm gonna eat me fucking candy floss in a yogurt, watch me bloody footy and throw that tripe in the bin, yeah? And then they buy the game with the orange spinning feller. We need to know what's going on here. Is it money laundering? Are they laundering money? Why is this still selling like it is? Under Night in Birth EXE:late in brackets is the real name of this real game that's coming to the PC next month. On August 20th, you can go to your friend and be like, hey bro, wanna play Under Night in Birth EXE:late in brackets? Because I wanna play Under Night in Birth EXE:late in brackets. And we both play video games such as Under Night in Birth EXE:late in brackets on the PC. Yes! A verily good time will we have with Under Night. Destiny 2's Forsaken DLC will have Cade 6 voiced by Nolan North and not Nathan Fillion, who he was previously. Nolan North also previously replaced Peter Dinklage as the voice of that little robot thing that tells you what to do. You may know Nolan North as the guy who plays Nathan Drake in the Uncharted games. It's unclear as to why he's replacing Nathan Fillion as Cade 6. Maybe because Nathan Fillion is busy, possibly as some sort of bizarre revenge. Because Nathan Fillion is playing Nathan Drake in a new Uncharted fan film, and it's really fucking good. Maybe Nolan wants to eat Nathan's lunch because Nathan is playing Nathan when Nolan usually plays Nathan, and Nathan has been saying that he wants to play Nathan for a really long time, and I'm assuming the studios are like, what? Nathan is Nathan. Nathan's too old to play Nathan, but then Nathan in the new game is older, so now Nathan's about the right age to play Nathan. And maybe this is like a Deadpool thing where, you know how Ryan Reynolds maybe leaked a test footage for Deadpool, and then everyone was like, wow, this really fucking works. They should make this movie. And then everybody bothered the studio, Fox, to make a Deadpool, and then Ryan Reynolds got to make Deadpool. So maybe Nathan Fillion is like, look, it's me as Nathan Drake, and I totally fucking work, and now I should do it. I don't know, I hope it happens. Hey, you may be wondering why I'm underwater this week. Let me reassure you that I did not get banished from land, as allegations have stated. I can go to the surface whenever I want, and any claims that my mortal enemy has been promoted to upper management are outright false. Dave and I are on very good terms, and I would like for you to respect his privacy whilst he recovers from karate-related injuries and deals with the infidelity within his marriage, neither of which have anything to do with me. Dave is a great man with a soft face, a heart of gold, and a jaw of glass. I'm Lyle Rath, and this is Pregame Discharge, the only video game show that has not been exiled to the sea and is down here completely by choice. Halo Infinite is not going to be a battle royale game. Coming as a statement from 343's lead writer, Jeff Easterling, I'll tell you right now, the only BR we're interested in is the battle rifle. To which I say cool, and also fuck you for making me recite that. Raiders of the Broken Planet is changing its name and also going free to play. The game is now going to be called Space Lords. Kind of an interesting concept to rebrand as a relaunch to the game. If you haven't heard of it, I actually hadn't before this point, and it's my job to know about this stuff. Goes to show, you can be terrible at anything and still find employment. Anyway, Space Lords is going to be free to play in August. On a related vein, The Culling 2 is culling itself as its own sequel, ironically, and doesn't exist anymore. The Culling 2 came out last week, and it was so fucking bad that its developer removed it, refunded everybody, apologized, and is now going to go back to updating The Culling, the first one. This is a move that is reminiscent of shitting on the carpet and then eating the shit to get rid of it. Technically, you've cleaned up the mess, but everyone saw, and I'll be honest, it's not a good look. Sly Cooper is not going to be getting a movie. Oh look, another video game that said they were gonna make a movie and then they didn't make a movie. Add it to the fucking Rolodex. Instead, they're gonna be making a TV show. Okay, that's a little more believable. Which will have 52 you're not gonna make. Okay, they're saying they're gonna make 52 episodes, but realistically, they're probably gonna make a show and it might or might not get that many episodes. I'm saying this not because I think it'll be bad, but just because I know how expensive animation is. 52 is totally unrealistic for a first order. Jaeger announced a new game called The Cycle. Based on the teaser trailer, it's looking like it's kind of a battle royale type thing, but will apparently revolve around completing contracts and not necessarily just killing each other. It'll be going into alpha as soon as the next few weeks, so I guess we'll see soon. Really, my only question is, look at this thing. Can I kill this? Because that's really all I want to know. All right, I've been up all night, but I've finally cracked it. You think the world is round? Wrong. You think the world is flat? Wronger. The truth? It's a goddamn triangle. And if you're thinking, ooh, a triangle, like the Illuminati and their providential eye, you're a fucking sheep. You're a sheep of a different flock. Expand your mind until you can comprehend that a triangle means you just try angling it a little more like this and bam, there, look at that, JFK's face. This image has been dated for August 30th, 1916, the day before JFK's conception. I'll be honest with you, I have not worked out all the kinks yet. Look, Rome wasn't built in a day, but it was built by Martians. I'm Lyle Rath, and this is Pregame Discharge, the only video game show that they haven't fucking gotten to yet. Spider-Man has gone gold, which basically just means that it is done. You can put it on a disc, you can put that disc on a shelf, and then someone can point at it and go, that. I want that. This is news, but it's also just kind of an appreciation story for developers that create goofy shit with their in-game assets. God of War did this too. I like it. Keep doing it. Devil May Cry 5 will allegedly have an emotional story. There was an interview with its director, Hideki Itsuno, and the main bullet points are there's gonna be a third playable character called V that doesn't use weapons. The character Kairi will return. You know, the one you love and remember. I sure do. The focus is just gonna be on demons this time. There's not gonna be any angels in the game. No harps allowed whatsoever. And Dante has a beard for a, quote, reason. The reason probably being beards are cool. Also, he says that he thinks the game will make people cry, meaning that the real devil has been you all along. Call of Duty Black Ops 4 got a multiplayer beta trailer, so all you multiplayer betas can enjoy your fucking battle royale. The Marvel Ultimate Alliance games have been delisted, and there's nothing you can do about it, which means if you haven't bought them, well, hope you didn't want to. There was no proper announcement that this was going to happen, although there was a random sale that came out of nowhere. So I guess the lesson you can learn from this is, if a random licensed game goes on sale out of the blue, that's probably a good indicator that the license expired or something like that. To celebrate its 30th anniversary, Street Fighter is selling a bullion of gold for some reason. Look, I'm a huge advocate of buying gold, okay? I think you should have as much of it as possible in your mattress for when this failed concoction called the global economy finally implodes, all right? But this is something a nut job buys. This is something a crazy person concocts for other crazy people, and I'm jealous I didn't think of it first. Ah, what a beautiful day. The sun is shining, the birds are shining, the trees are shining. Why is everything shining? Am I in hell? Is that what's happening here? Well, I take it back. Today is shit, but a little shining birdie told me that you wanted to hear about video games. And since we're here for an eternity, apparently, until I dig my way out, you're probably gonna end up staying. This plan kind of calls for a distraction, so you know what? Doesn't matter. Video games are happening. Let's talk about them. I'm Lyle Rath, and this is Pregame Discharge, the only video game show that waking death can't hold. Mario Odyssey is getting... Ooh. Oh boy, this is stirring something up. If you ever wanted to see Mario run around in high heels and fishnets, I bet you never thought you'd see the day. Speaking of never seeing the day, that Halo TV show that isn't happening will allegedly feature Master Chief as one of the major characters. The show will allegedly debut in 2020 if it doesn't get canceled before then. The Minecraft movie has been delayed because what do I keep telling you? Apparently Rob McMack from Always Sunny in Philadelphia was gonna direct it, and why was this ever a thing? He'd left. There's no Minecraft movie. There never was. Lords of the Fallen 2 has been scrapped and is being completely started over from scratch. Apparently the game was recently handed off to a completely different developer, and all the previous work, I guess, was totally unusable. This isn't always a bad sign, but chances are they're not gonna get the time and money back that they put into polishing the original turd. It's not like they're Square Enix here and they can just spend 15 years making a game 3 times. Pokemon Go is getting PvP. Not a lot is known about it, but it's apparently the next thing they're working on and hopefully will be done by the end of 2018. You can show all your idiot friends how much better at walking you are than them. Evo happened, so a bunch of fighting games announced a bunch of stuff. Kill la Kill showed off some new gameplay. Blaze Blue Cross Tag showed off some new characters and teased another franchise being added to the roster. Terry Bogard from Fatal Fury is being added both to Fighting EX Slayer and SNK Heroines as a lady or something. Dragon Ball FighterZ announced Goku, but he's a little bit tired and had a big lunch. And Tekken 7 announced that fucking guy with the bat from Walking Dead is gonna be in it. Video games are weird. Also, there was a Super Smash Brothers Nintendo Direct that definitely has happened at the point in time when I'm recording this. And guess what? They announced 50 Cent. That's right, 50 Cent from 50 Cent Blood on the Namaste, bitch. You may be wondering why we're in the dojo today. That's because I've invented a new form of meditation. The problem with the old one is everyone was just sitting there thinking about nothing like a slack-jawed idiot. That's why I revolutionized it, so check it. Instead of thinking about nothing, I think about everything at the same time. And then I condense those thoughts into one really smart super thought. And you may be going, whoa, how smart could it be? Look, you ever seen Good Will Hunting? I haven't, but I thought about it. Boom, mic drop, eat a dick. Welcome to Pregame Discharge, the only video game show that fuck you. Devil May Cry got a new trailer and some new gameplay of Dante, where he uses a fucking motorcycle as some goddamn swords, and shit is really starting to yesin on the fair plains of yes giving. I just want to fucking kill people with a motorcycle swords, dude. The developers behind Until Dawn are making a new game. It's not Until Dawn 2, but instead is something called The Dark Picture, which will apparently be an anthology of horror games, the first of which is about waterfellers that get ya and whatnot. Life is Strange 2 got a reveal trailer and some gameplay. This time, instead of being about lesbians, it's about two silly brothers being goofs, being silly little sausages. Get down from there, you sausage. The nerve. A Hat in Time is getting DLC and a co-op mode, and it's coming to Switch, and the DLC is free, and it will give you a hot towel massage, and it cares about how your day has been. If this sounds too good to be true, the only catch is that the DLC is only free the first day it's out, which is September 13th. After that, it'll be $5. Gamescom is happening. I already covered most of the major stuff from today, but we also got new trailers for Assassin's Creed, Shenmue 3, Spider-Man, and a game called Desperados 3, which is the threequel to a series that I've definitely heard of. But the biggest announcement, by far, is that Soul Calibur 6 will have a campaign mode that allows you to play as a custom character.
Chase me! Chase me!
Okay, come here.
Ah!
Ah! You know, a wise man once said to me, with great power comes typically a jewel or an orb or some sort of thing to contain it. And if you lose that, you're fucked. Needless to say, I took that guy's power orb, and if he was so wise, he should have seen that coming. Meaning his advice is probably worthless, as is this stupid orb, taking up valuable space on my mantle and ruining the feng shui of the room. They say that a tidy workspace is the canvas by which a painter drafts his own destiny. I say that's pretentious. You may be wondering what I'm getting at here with this terrible advice given by idiots. Well, that's the crux of all this, isn't it? Philosophy is like a game of badminton against yourself. It's sad, and if you get into it, you probably have too much free time on your hands. I'm Lyle Rath, and this is Pregame Discharge, the only video game show to recognize the great cosmic irony of its own intros. Yeah, I'm aware. Let's move on. The Binding of Isaac is getting a supposedly for real this time final expansion, which is titled The Binding of Isaac Repentance, meaning there's still room for another one called something like The Binding of Isaac Absolution. Like, this is gonna go on for as long as there's biblical terms and fetus words. Spider-Man got a trailer for its first DLC, which stars Black Cat, who, yeah, is in like every other Spider-Man game and is basically just Catwoman, but she's also a turbo babe. So, you know. In news, Goofy Lips Superman himself, Henry Cavill, will be playing Geralt of Rivia in the upcoming Witcher Netflix series. This is both reassuring and concerning. Concerning because I've only really seen him as Superman. I don't really like him as Superman. But reassuring because Netflix is going after a big, serious Hollywood actor. That means it's a big, serious Hollywood production. Sega's going to announce a new IP from the Yakuza developers next month. And if it's not quirky, you know what I'll do? I'll be like, damn. Scum, which is a game about prisoners murdering the fuck out of each other, is Devolver Digital's biggest launch to date. Also, I guess there was a Nazi tattoo or something in it, and it got removed, which might or might not have been a PR stunt in the first place. I don't know. I see people talking about it, but I didn't see people mad about it. Again, this is a game about murderous prisoners, so it's not like it would be out of place. Fortnite on PS4 is not going to be getting crossplay, according to a statement from Sony chief executive Kenichiro Yoshida. On cross-platform, our way of thinking is always that PlayStation is the best place to play. Fortnite, I believe, partnered with PlayStation 4 is the best experience. Allegations have not been confirmed or denied. That there was a follow-up statement. Oh, hi! You might be wondering why I'm drinking alone. It's because I'm having a party and told only people that I think are cool to show up. But you came anyway, so pull up a stool, I guess. It's been a hell of a ride so far, bro jangles. I've sought revenge across the land, the sea, space, the future, the afterlife, I think. I'm pretty sure blood at one point. Look, I'm a man of many hats, but one I would never wear is a fucking fedora, a relic of the same kind of poor judgment that might lead one to challenge me. But today I don the conic cap of partying because we made it to 50 fucking episodes, bromigos, and if that isn't an excuse to drink, then I don't have an excuse. I don't need an excuse. Get off my back. I'm Lyle Rath, and this is Pregame Discharge, the only video game show that your perfectly good eyeballs need. Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles is getting remastered Remastered for Nintendo Switch and PlayStation 4. The game will feature online multiplayer. So after all these years, you can finally tarnish the memory of how amazing you thought this game was, because there was only a single time you were actually able to get 4 friends in the same room with those stupid Game Boy connectors. You want to try Mega Man 11? Well, surprise, asshole, there's a demo of it on the Switch. You can download it, you can play it. Get out of my face, that's all I gotta say. From Software, you know, the Dark Souls people are making a PSVR game called Daracene. There's some of them fruity little apostrophes over some of them E's there, but America doesn't say none of them devil letters. That's how the communists get you. They come in like,
aren't you excited? You're going to be a fairy.
No, that's not even remotely exciting. How do you pronounce this? Whatever, next. Ninja Warriors is getting a ground-up remaster called The Ninja Warriors Once Again. You're probably going, "Bah, what is Ninja Warriors?" Bah. That's you, a binky baby bitch that don't know shit about no fucking beat-em-ups. The original game is almost old enough to rent a car, are you? Because you're kind of driving me nuts! Kingdom Hearts is getting a free VR game on the PlayStation 4. Oh boy, you can feel like you're in the same room with 97 Ansems and Sora's big gross toes. It's like the confusing plot or lack thereof is coming right at me. Dead or Alive 6 got a new trailer and announced its release date. On February 15th, 2019, you too can look at giant jiggly T-Taws and pretend to be interested in fighting game mechanics. No one will believe you, but nobody really believes love exists anymore either. The moral of the story is, if enough people say it, we all just have to play along. And in my opinion, that's the jiggliest titty that anyone could ever ask for. You know, some people have accused this show of being lowbrow. They say things like, this video game news show is never going to be the 1941 cinema-defining film Citizen Kane. Where is the symbolism? Forsooth, to these people I say you are weak. Symbolism is the language of cowards. Look at this symbol. It's worthless. It's not enriching jack shit, as opposed to a big masculine letter like this R. How about you use it to spell a word like rungeforsto? That's a turbo verb, and it means I can smash as many dumbass snow globes as I damn well please. I don't need any excuse. I mean, by all means, go analyze it anyway, but I guarantee you the deeper meaning is just gonna be what it always is, which is you're a nerd, and also, ooh, society! I'm Lyle Rath, and this is Pregame Discharge, the only video game show that runs Forstos on the go. Nintendo had a Nintendo Direct. You might have gone on Twitter recently and seen that Toad and Mario Kart were trending. That's not why. It has a lot more to do with the physical appearance of the President of the United States' penis. No, that is not a joke. I wish it was. So what did the Nintendo Direct announce? Well, for starters, Luigi's Mansion 3. It got a little teaser. It's happening. It's working on its title. I hope it finishes it. Because, you know, that'd be awkward if the game didn't have it. Luigi's Mansion also is getting a 3DS remake. With co-op, one person is a little green Luigi. His canonical name is Lugrini. It's not true. I've lied to you. Sometimes I do that. Keeps you on your toes. They announced this new RPG game called Town, but it's not really called Town. It's working on its title. I hope they finish. I guess the whole game takes place in a single town, and you're not pop punk enough to hate the town, so you just stay in the town. Yoshi's Fur Burger, or whatever the hell it's called, got a new trailer, and he's a little felt thing or something, but he's never felt this way before. Let's just move on. I guess the most major thing that they announced is Nintendo's Online is finally revealed to be what it is, and it's nothing. It's just, you play games online, you gotta use your phone to talk to people. They're pretending like that's a feature. They're like, look, someone could walk up behind you in the room and join the conversation. Skype. What this really is just, hey guys, it's kind of expensive to run online servers. Can we get like $20 a year? But they're framing it like it's some exciting announcement, and it doesn't really work. Whatever, do you want to play some older Final Fantasy games, except that one we don't really talk about? Yellow Dog is in Smash Bros. There's also going to be a new Animal Crossing for the Switch. They're working on its title. I hope they finish. Did anything not Nintendo happen this week? Let's see. Do you know what Resonance of Fate is? Because it's getting a remaster. No one? All right. There's a storm brewing around these fucking boxes. As you may or may not have heard, Belgium declared that they were legally gambling, but EA was like, we shall leave them in the FIFA. Your laws don't apply to us. Well, congratulations, bitchhole. You're now under criminal investigation in Belgium. Also, there's now an anti-gambling coalition forming across 15 different countries, specifically looking into this issue. Is this the end for loot boxes? No, probably not. But is it fun to watch? Yes, definitely. A lot of ye uninformed heathens say things to me like, Lyle, these outlandish scenarios you come up with are so creative. How long does it take you to write this? So listen up, because I'm only gonna say this once. I don't write this show. I'm too busy righting the wrongs of this shattered timeline. You're welcome, by the way. In the last 12 of these, you didn't exist. Time is worthless, but it's a fickle thing to waste, and also your parents have horrible chemistry. I'm Lyle Rath, and this is Pregame Discharge, the only video game show that teaches your dad how to please a woman. The Ace Attorney trilogy is coming to pretty much everything. We're talking PS4, we're talking Switch, we're talking PC, we're talking the other ones. The first 3 Phoenix Wright games, which you can also get on your phone. I played them on my phone way back in the day. I don't know if they translate to a couch experience or a desk experience, which is probably why it's taken so long to do something like this. But you know, can't hurt. Ports are always good. Death Stranding got a new trailer and just what the fuck, man. Troy Baker's in it. I like Troy Baker. Speaking of Troy Baker, they didn't get him back to record the lines for the extra content in the Tales of Vesperia remake, so, you know, that's kind of shit. Telltale Games is closing. It's dying. It's dead. It's effectively dead. They made a post on social media saying that their company is closing and they laid off almost their whole entire staff. Then they made another post saying that after their first post, a few partners have stepped forward to finish off The Walking Dead, possibly, but not definitely. This might not be the end. There might be a big desperate push to save Telltale, or some partner investor might buy them out. But again, they kind of already laid off everybody without severance pay. Just kind of a dick move. If you're gonna close up your studio, do it a little earlier, pay your fucking people. It's obviously never good when something like this happens for a variety of reasons. I know I come across as maybe a hypercritical, cynical dickhead, but that's because I want things to be good, not because I want things to end. That said, when you kind of fuck your employees, if I sound less than sympathetic, that's why. PlayStation Now is going to start letting you download games. For those of you that don't know, PlayStation Now is a borderline unusable service which allows you to stream PlayStation games with horrendous amounts of lag straight to your TV. In theory, this would be a really neat kind of Netflix for video games. In practice, it doesn't work, but maybe that's about to change. As far as I can tell, everything won't be downloadable straight from the get-go. It's just the PS4 titles and some of the PS2 ones, but this might actually make the service worth looking into. Hitman 2 got a new trailer featuring some yummy looking cocaine, and also I think that's Adele. I'm pretty sure. Like 40% sure. Devil May Cry 5 is going to have microtransactions. The game will allow you to purchase red orbs, which if you know anything about Devil May Cry, it's basically just the currency that you use to upgrade everything and get new moves. Capcom claims this won't affect the balancing of the game, which not even a single ounce of me believes. Come on. We all know how this works by now. If there's microtransactions in a game, whatever they're tied to, if it's an in-game thing that you can earn, is going to be designed to test your patience. If you haven't realized that yet, you haven't been paying attention. But hey, I'd love to be proved wrong on this. In the shaken hellscape that is economics, maybe red orbs aren't the bubble. Perhaps, in fact, they're the needle. Society. What does it even mean? I hear all you people saying that we live in a society. That's false. The only two things I live in are a fortress of death and a constant state of awareness. You can't sneak up on me. I see you there. Didn't even have to turn around. Idiots, the lot of ya. Society is an illusion, and if I can pen and tell you one thing about illusions, it's that they ain't magic. Did you let that sink in for a second? You'd see that most of the things in front of you aren't even really there if you'd actually open your eyes for once. These optometrists think they're so much better than me, but I'll make them see, just like I've made you see today. I'm Lyle Rath, and this is Pregame Discharge, the only video game show that doesn't say anything as it says everything. Friends, I come bearing very sad news. The Sony PlayStation has made the, quote, hard decision to cancel the PlayStation experience this year. I know you're all very sad, but look on the bright side. It makes my job this week easier. And isn't that what we all want at the end of the day? There's a big ol' leaky-loo of some sort of Harry Potter game thing. It was speculated that this game was being made by Rocksteady. It's not. Any footage of it is getting taken down like immediately, so I can't show you any of it. But it looks to be sort of a high-budget, standalone Harry Potter thing, sort of in the vein of the new Spider-Man game. game, the Batman Arkham games. It's apparently an action RPG. And yeah, that's about all we know. Anthem is launching with something that Destiny still for some reason doesn't have, which is raid matchmaking. This sounds like maybe a kind of minor story, but considering the fact that the raids are allegedly the best part of Destiny, and I say allegedly because this is the exact reason I never got to play one. So now you can actually experience the whole game without the fucking Herculean task of assembling 4 adults with jobs and responsibilities at the same time to play a game that nobody is really that enthusiastic about. And that's, well, it's not a beautiful thing, it's just a thing that should be, you know, standard. Red Dead Redemption 2 got a new trailer that shows how dirty and stinky you can be. I can't wait. Castlevania Requiem is a remaster of Symphony of the Night and Rondo of Blood, coming exclusively, for now, to the PS4. Apparently it's exclusive because they partnered with Sony to make this possible, but as we all know, that is one contract expiring or being bought out from not being a thing anymore. In things that are never going to see the light of day news, there's allegedly going to be a Dance Dance Revolution movie, which will take place in the post-apocalypse. I'm not saying that this will ever be real, it's just confirmed to be something that crossed a corporate desk and got a green light at some point. EverQuest will be getting its 25th expansion in December. Yes, that's EverQuest, the MMORPG from 1999, which still fucking exists. That shit's just impressive. EverQuest is old enough to drink in some countries and die in a war in all of them. There's an EverQuest 2. That's not what I'm talking about. This is an expansion for EverQuest 1. I guess what I'm saying is that EverQuest is a horrible immortal creature that we've let survive for this long without question, and I admire that. I'm a drifter, just drifted into town. I met a guy drifting on the way here and he was like, I'm on a spiritual journey, my wife left me. And I'm like, bitch, I'll show you drifting. Basically what I'm saying is when you meet that guy, spit in his acoustic guitar and tell him his cowboy boots look stupid. I don't have a grudge. It's not like I regret making the horrible decision to directionlessly travel across this country, bragging in bars about how cool I am because I saw him doing it. I was gonna do it anyway. I'm Lyle Rath, and this is Pregame Discharge, the only video game show where, yeah, Nebraska's great, I'm glad I'm here. There's a slimy little rumor floating around that the Nintendo Switch might be getting a new version thing soon. This would make sense, because this is kind of Nintendo's bread and butter with their handhelds at least. Their consoles used to be safe, but now everyone's doing it. Would make sense with that part of the Nintendo Online announcement where they're talking about cloud saves. Also, the Sony PlayStation is saying that they're making a new Sony PlayStation eventually. Yeah, of course. That's why you number these. So the next one, whatever. Pokemon Go is getting the next batch of strange little creatures. No announcements as to when, but they did put out a trailer for it, so it's a thing and you can't prove it's not. Borderlands 2 VR got an announcement trailer. It looks like it's a PSVR exclusive. One thing I did notice is there's no co-op in the trailer. I don't know if that's because it's not in there or because there's not more than one person on planet Earth that actually owns a PlayStation VR. CD Projekt Red is partnering up with Digital Scapes, which is a Canadian studio that specializes in multiplayer for Cyberpunk 2077. The implications of that might sound like we're treading into dangerous waters, but Fallout 76 is getting real-world funny money microtransactions that you buy with human cash, but it's just cosmetic. And also, you can find the fake money in the fake game. On a scale of 1 to 10, how numb are you? Microsoft is apparently trying to buy Obsidian, which is the studio behind some of the greatest RPGs you've ever glitched through the floor in. They did the second Knights of the Old Republic, they did New Vegas, South Park Stick of Truth, Pillars of Eternity. Anyway, Microsoft wants to buy them, and if you got a problem with that, punk, they'll buy you too. You ever notice how all those kids say that their dad owns Microsoft? They're not lying, they were just bought. They bought him! And I'm going to get to the bottom of this next week. Canada. Or as I like to call it, Alaska's Mexico. A place where great battles are fought, and home to the most lit gaming convention on the planet. They've asked me to stop calling them that. I won't. EGLX is the most lit gaming convention on the planet. It's in Toronto from October 26th to October 28th. And on the 27th, I'll be facing off with the Yellow Menace himself. Zero Punctuation's Yahtzee Croshaw will be on on the main stage with something called a sex T-Rex, and if that's anything like what it sounds, I'm very excited. It's been a long time since I've had a proper nemesis, especially one that wasn't a big old doofus. You know who you are. I'm Lyle Wrath, and this is Pregame Discharge, the only video game show with an extra thumb in its... Okay, I don't want to go there. Kentucky Fried Chicken is starting a gaming division. Yes, this is true. This is real. Maybe you're sleeping right now. Maybe you're having a stroke. Maybe the accident killed you, and you're stuck in purgatory. My point is, check back tomorrow, and if this is still a real video, then you have to accept that this is your reality now. I'm sorry. Discord is launching its game store. It'll be throwing its hat into the ring with Steam and Origin and stuff like that, but it also has something called a universal library feature, which will scan your computer for games on any service and allow you to launch them right from the app, which might mitigate some of that another one sort of feeling that everyone sort of gets whenever they have to use a new launcher because some publisher decided that they were special. The Quiet Man is a game by Square Enix wherein the protagonist is deaf, and so therefore also you are deaf. But the New Game Plus mode of the game apparently features sound, which is weird. Seems like a huge waste of time to completely do sound design for a whole entire game just as a post-game bonus feature, unless playing through the game with sound substantially changes the experience, and that's the point. Like maybe they're being artsy-fartsy, and the artsy fart is one that wasn't as silent but deadly as you previously thought. A gut-twisting experience indeed. Rockstar got in a little bit of trouble earlier this week because one of their guys said in an interview that they were putting in 100-hour work weeks. He did clarify later and said it was like 4 dudes on his writing team, and they all wanted to do it. There's maybe a discussion to be had there, but it's not like everybody at Rockstar was forced to put in 100-hour work weeks. And hopefully the ones that chose to were compensated accordingly. Nobody should be forced to do that kind of crunch, but some people like it. I know personally, I fucking love it. It's not for everybody, but it's not as black and white as it originally seemed like, which is good because it seemed pretty shitty. Hey, remember when Luigi, the new Luigi, had a green Luigi that second player plays as, and I said his name was like Lugrini or something, and that sounded like a lie? Well, this is going to sound like a lie too, but his name is actually canonically Guigi. Hopefully this isn't the last time I've lied about a Nintendo story and it turns out to be true. Not that I've done anything like that ever before, especially not when it pertains to a certain rapper being in Super Smash Brothers. They say a man without vengeance is like a fish without stilts. Worthless. Smelly. Shorter. God, I hate it. But once the fish is on stilts, the right person will be terrified, and everyone else will just laugh, because that's preposterous, right? You know, every week we do this, and we learn a lot, or at least I think you do. I'm done internalizing knowledge. I've already sanctioned that part of my brain off for vengeance and stilts. My point is, never stop growing, even if it's artificially. I'm Lyle Wrath, and this is Pregame Discharge, the only video game show that is canonically the sequel to The Art of War. Red Dead Redemption 2 got its final trailer before its release, and also the game is a big old boy. The download of the game is supposedly going to be anywhere between 99 and 110 gigabytes, and the physical edition of the game will be 2 discs. I've said it before and I'll say it again. Memory cards, bring them back, physically larger. I want them big, I want them blocky, and as a matter of fact, I want them floppy. Bring back floppy disks. Days Gone is being delayed until April 2019. There's probably some kind of scheduling joke I could make with the name Days Gone, but as far as the chances go of it finally being the first funny scheduling joke to ever be made, I'm not really confident enough to go through with it. The Oculus co-founder has left Facebook following slippery little reports that the Rift 2 is canceled. What does this mean for the future of VR? Well, I don't know. It could just mean that the Oculus is contending defeat to the Vive in the gaming world to focus on being a machine for President Zuckerberg's reprogramming silos. Or it could mean that VR is dead, oh my god! As a little appendage story to this, the CEO of EVE Online, which I only know is that game where somebody bought a fucking $9,000 space boat and then it got destroyed immediately, was saying that he expected VR to be 2 to 3 times as big as it is by now. And this is coming from a man that can sell a $250,000 virtual space war. So I guess what I'm saying is, markets are confusing, and the only 2 things you can trust are precious metals and me. My friends, we stand at the precipice of a new era. And I already dropped my watch down there, so... you know, there's kind of no going back now. For you see, time often slips away, and so to master it, you too must be slippery. For 40 days and 40 nights, I have oiled myself, and that is how I caught my watch. The new era can wait. Suck it, progress, but the show must begin. I'm Lyle Rath, and this is Pregame Discharge, the only video game show to subdue the revolution of time itself. God damn it! Once again, Nintendo has chosen to have a Nintendo Direct the day after I release my show. There will be one final Smash Bros. Nintendo Direct on November 1st. There was a big, possibly fake Smash Bros. Leak involving the Grinch that I'd really rather not get into, but if it's validated, then I might have to talk about it next week. No Man's Sky is getting a big update called The Abyss, which lets you go underwater and see big ocean creatures and name them stupid things. Sony announced a remake to the PS1 classic Medieval. There's a trailer of it coming out Halloween, which is, well, today for you, but we don't have it right now. If you see a trailer on the Tomorrows and you bring it back in time, the game gets a movie adaptation that never happens. Speaking of which, Adi Shankar, who produced Netflix's Castlevania, made a post that said, "I can confirm that I'm working with an iconic Japanese gaming company to adapt one of their iconic video game series into a series. On November 16th at 1 p.m., I'm going to announce what it is." The big rumor going around is that it's The Legend of Zelda. If this were a few years ago, I would have probably said that's bullshit, but they're letting the Minions guys make a Mario movie, so, you know, could happen. Trine 4 got an announcement and not much else. They said they were making it. You like pictures of text? They gave you one of those? The PlayStation Classic announced its full lineup of games. They are as follows: Battle Arena Toshiden, Cool Borders 2, Destruction Derby, Final Fantasy VII, Grand Theft Auto, Intelligent Cube, Jumping Flash, Metal Gear Solid, Mr. Driller, Oddworld, Abe's Odyssey, Rayman, Resident Evil Director's Cut, Revelations, Persona, Ridge Racer Type 4, Super Puzzle Fighter 2 Turbo, Siphon Filter, Tekken 3, Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six, Twisted Metal, and Wild Arms. If you didn't hear the game you wanted to play on the PlayStation 1 in that list, go fuck yourself. Or also you could buy like a cheap used PS3 and those play PS1 discs. Soul Calibur 6 got its first announced DLC character, and it's 2B from Nier. And you can use her fighting style on your custom characters, which means, well, you know. I can't believe this is a real thing. Hey guys, listen, I don't say this a lot, but you know what? I was wrong. I was wrong to think that I couldn't be more humble, but now I see that I am. And in a way, that makes me right. So maybe I wasn't really wrong. I just had to say I was wrong to be right. I'm glad we worked that out. Anyway, you're Lyle Rath, and this is Pregame Discharge, the only video game show that found him! He's right here! Smash Bros. Got a 40-minute Nintendo Direct. Notable announcements are Ken from Street Fighter, a big hot pussy, a potted plant is going to be in the game instead of the character you wanted, you idiot. There's a mode where you get pictures of a character, you put one on, and then you put other ones on that one, and that one helps the other one. You have to fight characters that look like the picture, and then you get the picture, and then you can choose. There's a rock, paper, scissors interaction between grabbing before you start, you choose a support, and everyone is fucking dead except for Kirby. Blizzard announced a Diablo mobile game that absolutely zero people asked for, and premiered it at a conference for people least likely to want a mobile Diablo game, which are hardcore Blizzard fans. They actually got booed on stage and then made it worse by responding like this.
Do you guys not have phones? Yeah, you guys all have phones, right?
Are people overreacting to this? Yes! I mean, they just blatantly are, but that's because nobody outside of a boardroom of executives trying to corner the Asian market has ever had so much of a fleeting spark of a wish that a Diablo mobile game existed. Blizzard also announced a lot of other, less controversial stuff. Warcraft 3 is getting a full-on remaster called Warcraft 3 Reforged. Overwatch got a new animated short, and a new character is coming to the game. Her name is Ashe, and she looks to be my kind of bitch, and also a mid to long range, semi-sniper kind of character. Also at the end of the short, McCree talks to like a robot toilet Wall-E looking ass. I don't know, that's probably a teaser for a new character too. Here's just a PSA. If you have Battle.net on PC, click that little gift thing at the top of it. Destiny 2 is free right now. Not a free weekend, like you straight up own it. It's free right now. If you have Battle.net, you might as well. There's a game coming out soon-ish to Steam about a bird on a skateboard, and it is called Skatebird. That's all there is to that. I just thought it was fun. Sunset Overdrive is almost definitely coming to PC. No official announcement yet, but it's been rated by the ESRB and it's shown up in the Steam database, so, you know, if it walks like a duck and it shits in the woods like a duck, does a duck shit in the woods? Is that how that goes? So it all comes to this, doesn't it? You think you got it all figured out, huh? You think you got the puzzle all put together? Well, I got some news for you. Every piece is wrong, and the opposite of peace is war. All's fair in love and war. That's why they call it warfare. And I love it. Platonically, though, me and war have a lot of history, mostly written by the victor, and honestly, we're still trying to work out the kinks. But at this point, it's just about moving forward. It's not about who's still alive in Argentina, or whose stupid puzzle is put together wrong. That said, checkmate, I'm Lyle Wrath, and this is Pregame Discharge, the only video game show that can fucking king me. Void Bastards got an announcement trailer. It looks like one of them comic books you dweebs are always reading, and it comes from the development director of BioShock and System Shock 2. And you can put a bitch in an airlock and shoot him into space like garbage. That's where all our garbage goes. Welcome to the future. So, that live-action Pokemon movie with Ryan Reynolds as Pikachu is actually happening. I didn't think I'd be saying that, but yeah, no, we got a trailer for it, which ensures it pretty much is a real thing at this point, and it's morbidly fascinating. PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds is coming to the PlayStation 4 next month. If you're like me, you probably assumed it was already on the PlayStation 4, but I don't just make this show for myself. I make it for everyone. Except you, Preston, you boner. Crackdown 3 finally has a firm release date, and it's February 15th. Frankly, this game is so late to the party that the person who invited it has already moved, but if Andrew WK has taught me anything, it's that a party can be willed to be no matter the circumstances. So maybe, I don't know, maybe it'll be good. Convince me. Sea of Thieves is getting a new expansion called The Arena. It'll be heavily PvP focused, which means you can take out your aggression towards your fellow man, including but not limited to fucking Preston. For some reason, crazy people built a Spyro the Dragon drone that breathes actual, real, legitimate, dangerous fire, and it flew away. It went to Snoop Dogg. It brought him a copy of Spyro the game, the new one, and then Snoop Dogg gave it a gold chain. If this is just what video games are going to be from now on, I'm actually weirdly okay with it. I know that's objectively not the right thing to say when confronted with this, but sometimes you need a little danger in life. Video games are the great conundrum of life. They always are that which they never were. Like a slippery mother welcoming you back with the same oily arms that dropped you as a child. And even though your ability to empathize with other human beings left you on that cerebrospinal fluid-drenched marble floor, you have to begrudgingly admit that no matter how many times they've let you down, they made you. That's why when people ask me why I'm so fucking cool, I tell them to think about it. For that which is profane is destined to become profound. Fuck you. I'm Lyle Wrath, and this is Pregame Discharge, the only video game show that is seen as a threat in the eyes of the gods themselves. Sony is not going to be attending E3 next time, and possibly from now on. I'm sure there are probably some fascinating internal politics at play here, but rather than speculate about that and talk out of my ass, I'm just gonna do what I do best and not give a shit. So some Chinese press release images of Kingdom Hearts 3 surfaced, with Winnie the Pooh as this awkwardly blurred out bloom of light. So at risk of making enemies with the King of China, or whatever they have, Pharaoh, Pope, it's because the leader of China is apparently regularly mocked by being compared to Winnie the Pooh internationally. Apparently Winnie the Pooh is heavily censored in China. The new Christopher Robin movie didn't come out there. No word yet on whether or not Winnie the Pooh is a iridescent bloom of light in Kingdom Hearts 3 in China, or if that whole section is just gonna get cut out. I don't know. I saw pictures of this and I thought it was like a weird Onion article thing, but Apparently it's very real. I learned something today, you get to learn something today too. But also, Kingdom Hearts 3 is officially wrapped production and gone gold, so, you know, that's happening. That media molecule thing called Dreams is getting a beta in December. Every time I see this thing, I feel like I'm transported into my dad's head when I try to explain cryptocurrency to him. I don't know what the fuck it is, but maybe this will be the thing that finally makes it click. Is it like an art software? Or Hitman 2 got some DLC where you can kill Sean Bean. Presumably this involves taking up the disguise of any film director or screenwriter who has ever worked with him. Adi Shankar has the rights to make a Devil May Cry show. If you're not familiar, he's the producer behind the new Castlevania show. He also did Dread. Shankar actually procured the rights to the show himself so that, quote, the jabronis in Hollywood don't fuck this one up too. Which means as of now, we don't know if it's for sure gonna be like a Netflix show like Castlevania or what. What I do know is that Shankar is a very good choice for this. He is still a goth in 2018, and I respect that. Valve is discontinuing the Steam Link for some reason. This news kind of came out of nowhere and they started selling off Steam Links for like $2.50. There is still a Steam Link app. Maybe Valve is just confident that that's in a state to where it can just be a replacement. But if the CIA's many attempts to clone me are any indication, a soft replacement usually can't kill the hard-bodied original. Hear ye, servitors of sludge, chewers of goo, citizens of slime. Today you are offered an opportunity to rise up from the doldrums of your soupy dominion and join me in my conquest against the oppression of the Amish! For too long, they've had their boot to the neck of the common man, and I say no more. It should be the year 3000 by now, at least. But their refusal to acknowledge the passage of time has been holding us back. I am done waiting for the clock to turn and the sun to revolve around the earth, while these heathens deny science. I'm Lyle Rath, and this is Pregame Discharge, the only video game show that knows its enemy. Red Dead Redemption is getting multiplayer. There's a beta going on right now. Maybe you can play it, maybe you can't, depending on when you bought the game, but everyone should be able to play it by November 30th. Rockstar hasn't said anything about when it ends, if it ends, or if it's just going to go out of beta and into full-on chadhood. Warframe is now available on Nintendo Switch. If you've been playing on PC, you can bring your feller over to the Nintendo box and be like, wow, I sure am fucking playing it. Look, if you already have it, you probably already know the score. 20th Century Fox trademarked Alien Blackout as a video game title, which, given the history of Alien video games, is probably not exciting news, but it's news. Civilization 6 is getting a new expansion called The Gathering Storm. It'll feature funny natural disasters. So if you've ever wanted to roleplay a world leader ignoring the overwhelming scientific consensus about climate change and then watch Miami get taken out by a fucking triple tornado or whatever, then you'll get your chance in February. This next thing is kind of a wad of a story. Mario Tennis Aces and Kirby Star Allies are both getting updates and have been for quite some time. I haven't reported on it yet because it's always been little things, you know, little characters, modes, not ever any one thing that's big enough to warrant a mention, but it seems like this is Nintendo's MO now. They release a game and then they trickle some extra content into it. Maybe it's stuff they initially cut, maybe they make the decision whether or not to do that based on sales. Maybe this is how they're keeping the used games market at bay. I just looked up Kirby, which is a game that came out in March, and it's still full price. I don't know, this kind of thing is interesting to me, especially in a world where publishers are constantly trying to nickel and dime you for every little thing, and games are supposedly more expensive than ever to make content for. Just stands to reason that Nintendo has either A, found a way to indirectly make a profit from releasing free content, or B, they're cutting stuff out from the initial release to stay within budget and schedule, and then releasing it later for free. It's just fascinating. Usually you don't see stuff like this outside of early access or games with microtransactions. Look, it's this or picking the limbs off small animals, okay? Just indulge me once in a while. Eiji Aonuma name-dropped a Skyward Sword remaster for Nintendo Switch, which basically means everything shy of an outright confirmation. This could be a good thing. The biggest thing wrong with Skyward Sword was that the motion controls didn't work, and the second biggest thing wrong with Skyward Sword is that it wasn't a good game. It's been a goddamn hour making a stupid asshole robot go up a piece of shit hill, dump a fucking stupid cauldron of water on a bitch frog's fucking cocksucker tongue. Just let me open the door! You ever find yourself neck deep in the kind of trouble you used to only dream about? Welcome to my world. It's as cold and flat as my ex-wife. How did we get here? Well, as most stories go, it all started with a simple misunderstanding. Cantonese, I think. I don't know. I couldn't understand it, but I never would have guessed that it was a warning about the fucking Amish. Yeah, turns out they're not too fond of internet shows that mock their backwards way of life. Another thing they're fortunately not too fond of is keeping their hands up in fistfights. Guess that's more of a 21st century thing. As is using the internet, that was the whole joke, so I guess the question remains. Is there like the Amish equivalent of a mom I can tell on them so they'll leave me alone? I'm Lyle Rath, and this is Pregame Discharge. The only video game show that's always got a nut to bust, but never to crack. Assassin's Creed Odyssey got its first little niblet of episodic DLC, which is a thing that they're doing apparently, and you would have known that if you would have read the descriptors of the 92 special editions, or maybe the Totino's pizza rolls. You know what? It doesn't matter. There's an old-timey assassin, he shows up with a hidden blade, which I presume was not in Assassin's Creed Odyssey, so get excited. By the way, I'm not continuing like the Private Eye shtick. I haven't slept in a while, and I'm genuinely losing my voice, so that's why I'm talking like this. Destiny 2 apparently failed to reach its projected sales numbers, and so they're really panicking and trying to get you to buy a season pass, and also, instead of big story-related DLCs, they're just going to be doing little baby DLCs for babies like you. Hell Let Loose got an announcement trailer. It's a World War II shooter game. It has 50-on-50 matches. Apparently World War II games have come back around, and now they're novel concepts. I'm personally still burnt out from the great World War II first-person shooter game flood of the mid-2000s. THQ Nordic is shoving a bunch of dead IPs into its wonderful little satchel and is probably going to do something with them. They just picked up Carmageddon, but they've also got Red Faction, Alone in the Dark, and probably most notably, Time Splitters, which is a game where you could play as a human-sized monkey and throw bricks at aliens and sentient gingerbread men. The Federal Trade Commission is going to start looking into these fucking boxes. Honestly, flip a coin as to what that means. I don't really expect the geezers of law to fully wrap their head around what loot boxes even are, which is probably why this hasn't happened sooner. Borderlands 2 VR is only a timed exclusive on the PlayStation VR, so now all 3 PlayStation VR owners can lord over us the fact that they can play a 6-year-old game a full 5 months early. I feel like those people need to hear me say that I'm jealous of them, so I'm just gonna end the show now. You know, I used to be just like you. Tired, hairless, unmotivated, acutely unaware of the shadowy figure slowly rising up behind you. Don't turn around right now, you're just gonna, you missed him. That was until the day everything changed, when I read my own self-help book. Now I have a 9-figure job, 8 girlfriends, and a gun. I used to sleep in my car, but now I don't even remember what it feels like to cry. We can do this together. Recovery starts with a simple $650 payment without consulting anyone in your family. They'll lie to you. I won't. I'm Lyle Rath, and this is Pregame Discharge, the only video game show that's really more of a mentor figure. Mark Twain at some point said something along the lines of, if you eat a live frog at the beginning of the day, it's all uphill from there. The guy was fucking out of his mind. Anyway, here's a silhouette of what Sonic is gonna look like in the new live-action Sonic movie. Okay, are we done looking at it? I'm done looking at it. Joker, the protagonist from Person 5, is going to be the first DLC character in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. And by that I mean the first after the plant, which is still funny. This is notable for 2 reasons. Number 1, it solidifies that Smash Brothers characters can pretty much come from anywhere now. And or number 2, it could also mean that Person 5 is coming to the Nintendo Switch. And as an avid fan of the Person franchise, I'm personally very excited. I am out to press everyone's buttons today. What is fucking wrong with me? Scavengers is a post-apocalyptic cooperative survival shooter set in the hopefully not too distant future where everything is frozen and they blew up the goddamn moon. It's about time. It didn't get much information other than like a little announcement trailer, but I presume that there is a good deal of scavenging or false marketing involved. Far Cry New Dawn is a post-apocalyptic, probably cooperative first-person shooter set in the hopefully not too distant future where everything is colorful and they blew up the goddamn Midwest. It's about time. This looks to be like a soft sequel to Far Cry 5 in that it's a sequel, it costs $40, and it probably will just use a reskin version of the same map. Journey to the Savage Planet is a pre-apocalyptic or possibly post-apocalyptic, could be cooperative survival, maybe first-person shooter, which takes place in the hopefully not too distant future where something probably got blown up, and it would have been about time. All we know is that the game is led by the Far Cry 4 creative director. It involves exploring a planet to see if it is habitable by the human race, and that it is not a battle royale. The Outer Worlds is a proxy-apocalyptic first-person joke that I'm not gonna run through a fourth time, and this one actually looks kind of fucking sick. It's made by Obsidian, who, as they passive-aggressively boast in the trailer, are the original creators of Fallout and the developers of Fallout New Vegas, which even if it's not your favorite one, is just objectively the best one. It looks to be a straight-shooting spiritual successor to Fallout, but with more of a hard sci-fi edge. And it might be exactly what we need considering Fallout hasn't been, you know, good lately. Crash Team Racing is getting an HD remaster, probably to appease the insatiable Bandicoot lust of the European market. Deviants, the Ladia. Marvel Ultimate Alliance got announced as a Nintendo Switch exclusive, and Monster Hunter World is getting a big ol' expansion that also may or may not include Geralt from The Witcher. But you came here for the real fucking news, so let's get to it. Soulja Boy, yes, the mid-2000s rapper, bitch, I look like Goku, is selling his very own video game console. I assure you, this is a real thing. The Soulja Game console and Soulja Game handheld are actual, real, existing Soulja Boy licensed video game platforms. Though these may appear to be cheap Chinese plug-and-play consoles running illegally emulated software, Soulja Boy himself assures us that these are 100% legit. And if there's one person I trust in this world, it's the man who single-handedly penned the line, "I'm so fresh you could suck my nuts." Swag. Greetings and salutations, friends. Look, I know I spend a lot of time screaming about vengeance, but this holiday season, I just wanted to remind everybody that there were those who doubted me. They thought me a drunken captain asleep at the wheel at half-mast. But I have a vision that not even the silverest John is long enough to comprehend. My white whale could not take any significant appendage from me, for the two are one and the same. And as I sail into the scented claws of harsh, cold winter to face the great unknown foe that my thirst has driven me to, let the whole world bear witness as I, Lyle Wrath, and the whole Pregame Discharge family wish you a warm and happy holidays. Devil May Cry 5 is getting multiplayer, kind of, sort of. It seems more like, you know, when you play Dark Souls, you see the feller walk off a fucking cliff or something, or like Mario Kart Ghost Racers. Look, I know I sound like a schizophrenic right now, but point is, you won't actually interact with the other players, you'll just kind of see what they did. But also, sometimes it'll close you off in a little arena, and maybe they can help you or so. It's confusing, I just read about this. I'm sure this would be a lot easier to understand if we could actually see it. Mortal Kombat 11 got an announcement trailer. You get to see your favorite fighting boys punch their whole entire goddamn stomachs out and stuff. It's quite a bit to digest. I was paid to make that joke. Someone gave me money to. Spider-Man's final DLC is coming out December 21st. It's called Silver Lining, and it focuses on Silver Sable being a silver. It's the precious metal that I never gave the time of day, but if I had just, I gotta invest in silver, shit. Witchfire is a cool looking game where you shoot some fucking witches that we haven't heard about in like a year or something. The reason I'm bringing it up now is because they've finally broken their vow of silence and will be giving weekly updates on Witchfire. So if you're interested in that, you can follow the developer, The Astronauts, on Facebook and Twitter, because I'm not dedicating a goddamn segment of my show every single week to Witchfire. Planetside Arena is going to be the biggest battle royale. It's gonna feature a mode that pits two teams of 250 players against against each other, but also a regular Battle Royale mode. And if Battle Royales aren't your thing, it also has these modes. Elliot and Brad got a reveal trailer for Dead or Alive 6, and do you want to see a drunk old man punch an androgynous pretty boy down a flight of stairs or not? Yeah.